Konbanwa, good evening and welcome. This episode is sponsored by Black Thunder, a very delicious little chocolate snack that you can buy in Japan. I'll open it later and eat it. I'm not hungry at the moment, but I won't deny you the pleasure of seeing the Black Thunder. But you know, I know why you come to the show. Okay, let me do some seemingly technical things so I can see comments, because I'm really going to need you guys today. I unlike Hiko Simon, I'm gonna have to mute. This episode is yay. Okay. I do very little to prep for this, unfortunately. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I have an idea of. Let me see. Do I want to go that? No, I want to go this way. Okay. Sometimes I have an idea about what I want to talk about, and something comes to me, and come on, comments over here. Okay, and we'll do this, and we'll do this. Okay, and so I get articles together, or I I do a little online research, whatever. I jot down notes or something if there's something really digging at me. But to be honest, I have been so, I don't know what the good word is. I've been so lackadaisical. No, that's not a good word. That's a nice English word, though, but you don't use that one in conversation all the time. I have just been so laid back and relaxed and just enjoying my vacation, even though I'm not doing anything. And it's kind of almost to the point now where I need to start doing something, or my mind is just going to go to jelly. Because I didn't go home to America this summer. I don't have to work. I didn't get a side job at an eikaiwa or something. I'm literally just sitting in my apartment most days. Now this week, if you watch my channel, I went to Hiroshima, and that was great. It was great to get out of the house. It's been so rainy and nasty. I haven't even really wanted to go anywhere. And I really have, guys. I think I posted this on my real Facebook as opposed to my Myargonauts Facebook, but I really have gotten in this weird sleep cycle. So if any of you have any advice, feel free to drop it. But I literally go to bed now at 5 in the morning and wake up at 3 in the afternoon. And I'll eat breakfast this week while I'm watching Sumo or something, And then it's it's now 10 p.m., right? My show starts at 10 p.m. and I'll want to go to bed at midnight, 1 a.m. or something, and I just won't be tired, and I'll just be up. And I try to read or play a video game or watch something I can not really have to pay attention to, like an American football game. And I just can't go back to sleeping in my regular cycle. It's really weirding me out. And I need to get back there, because tomorrow I need to be a regular productive citizen. I need to go to work and work on some stuff, and it's really taken over this altered timeline of me being here. And today I wanted to go to the store and everything before Sumo started at 4, and I slept until about 2 p.m. and so I didn't get to go to the store. I didn't even leave my house. I scrounged a dinner together. I'm no, because Sumo ends. Anyway, you don't need to know all the details, but it's weirding me out. So next week I got to try to alter and get back to a regular paradigm. Yeah, sometimes I hate sleeping too, Duncan. I got to tell you, it's just it's not my favorite part of the day anymore. I used to love sleeping in and everything, and now it's about 6 hours, even though I'm 46 now and stuff. I get tired during the day when it's a regular, in my regular life, when I'm teaching and everything, and I'll take a little nap or something, or always wish I had an extra hour, but I like being awake at night. And so I always feel if I go to bed at 11 to get for what for me would be 7 hours of sleep, because I usually get up at 6 a.m. I'm cheating myself out of an hour from 11 to midnight or something, you know what I mean? So cheers. Anyway, this is water. Trying not to have any caffeine or anything, this late at night, trying. But anyway, okay, let's get to it. Let's see who's here. Hello all. Temiko is there. Hello, Jason. Hello back. Howdy from James. Phil Music says hello. Robert in Canada. Bienvenue. I don't know how you say. How do you say bonjour is hello in French? But I don't even know if you speak French, Robert. You might not be in that part of Canada. Ben Duncan says, hey, Robert. He doesn't care about me. No, he said hello to me earlier. He was actually first in the room. Go, Ben. Father of Man. That's a great handle. But 25. Were there literally 24 Father of Men's before you? Or is the 25 significant? He says, you are the man. Thank you, sir. I do my best. I'm growing the manly beard. I know you can't really see it on camera because, well, you can kind of see it in reflecting. Because A, you know, it grows more like this color than this color nowadays. So this is all very white. But it's there. I don't know if you can hear it. And under here. So, but that's really just so I don't have to necessarily shave every day and I don't feel so you know, like I'm being a bum. And so usually I wouldn't grow this at all in the summer because it'd be so hot. But I'm telling you, man, it has been the mildest summer. I mean, I don't always stay home. I'm usually in America in September. But this summer I stayed here and I was all prepared to just be running the aircon and being sweaty. And other than like 1 week where it really was like you go outside of the one room and it's like you're sweating balls, it has been so mild. And like today it's been like 22, 23. I mean, I could have the windows open and it's just been, but it, you know, the cost of that is that it hasn't been sunny at all. It's been, you know, cloudy or rainy almost every day until that. If you saw that video where I drove to Hiroshima, it was gorgeous on Friday. And now it's gone back to being overcast and rainy. Okay, Duncan is in the house. Let's see who else is in here. Duncan, do you have any questions? No, he's just commenting. Thank you for your comments. Oh, Temco uses some kind of special thing on her computer which reduces the blue light. Yeah, some friends on Facebook sent me something about circadian rhythms and just needing to see sunlight and like just like the skin, your sun on your skin and in your eyeballs like tells your brain that it's daytime and that you're not supposed to sleep and blah, blah, blah. But literally I haven't been able to go outside and see the sun in so long. Anyway, yeah, so Englandese is here. Rob in Japan, hello. Wow, somebody from Austria is coming into the chat room. Thank you for joining in. Tritium 8. Huggers from Australia is here. Hey, Huggers. Super Sanan is here. Shoot, man. Yeah, and it's for me, Super. It's been getting, you know, because I'm not even. It's not like, you know, winter vacation or spring vacation, which is 2 weeks or 4 weeks. I mean, this is literally, by the time I'm done, I would have had like 7 solid weeks of nothing. And I've tried to keep busy. I'll show you in a minute that I've got out my my old study books. This is one of my early college textbooks, Yokoso, to study Japanese. This is back when I was first starting. So the questions and some of the text is in Romaji. You can see I didn't even work on that page. I really did do some of it. Let's see. If you go back, here's me like practicing kanji. Let's see here. You know, there's me practicing writing kanji and learning things. So anyway, I got out that, and then I found this folder. I'm looking for my diploma. I'm applying for a job, and they want a copy of my diploma, and I think it's in America. Anyway, this is like the JLPT back in the day before they made it 5 levels. These were like all the kanji you needed to know for level 3, which is the level I ended up taking. So I would go up a level from this. So most of those kanji I do know. If you're interested, that's all you need to know for level 4, which is now level 5. So that's a pretty easy group of kanji if you're thinking about trying out the test. So I got out this booklet, which is just full of like worksheets and stuff to do. And I got a textbook in the mail that I ordered on Japanese verbs. So I have been studying a little bit of Japanese, but you know, you kind of, maybe an hour. An hour a day is about my limit for doing that solo. If I were in a class, or if I was with a teacher or a tutor or something, I think your tolerance level goes up a little bit, right? Because you can interact and you can do dialogues. But when you're by yourself, yeah, I haven't really jumped into like flashcards and making things like that yet and stuff. But I do hope to study and regain some. Well, not regain, because I haven't really had it before, but improve my Japanese ability in 2016. That's a goal. Not that I can't start now, but I'm not going to take the test in December. I kind of looked over everything, and I just don't think I'd be ready. But maybe I will. A lot depends on what I find out about my new job. If I got this new job and I know that this is going to be my last semester here at my current job, I can kind of ease off a little bit and just I have to get ready for the new job, but I can kind of like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think I could then take some of the energy I put into the current job and transfer it into studying, if that makes sense. Anyway, we'll see. I'll let you guys know if I'm going to do the JLPT in December, which is the next time it's offered. I'll let you guys know, because maybe other people want to come on and do a study conference chat or something like that, but I'm not sure yet. How do I control after-school 7-year-olds, Duncan? Drugs in their Kool-Aid. Let's see, bribes, cookies, stickers. No, I don't know. After-school 7-year-olds, that's tough, man. The way I did when I had to substitute teach Eikaiwa, and I was, asked to do kids way younger than I had any experience teaching, like 4- and 5-year-olds, I think was the youngest. I didn't luckily have to do any kids really young, because I've heard that there are classes for like 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, which to me just seems ridiculous. If you're not even able to like speak your own language with any degree of certainty yet, I have no idea how, you're supposed to teach them a second language other than just the basic red, blue, green, After school 7-year-olds, it would depend, I guess, how many there are. If they're less than 9 or 8, maybe like 6 or 7 at the most. I mean, I could think of games like Uno and my iPad. My iPad is such a savior when I have classes like that, because I can sit the kids in a circle, play certain games where it's like you pass it around to each kid. I mean, you'd have to be there so they're not like manhandling it themselves. And sing along songs and stuff like that, hokey pokey and things like that. If it's more than 8 or 9, then you've got to really, devise activities, and it's work. That's like, planning a lesson, especially because it could be long. A lot of times you go to Shogako and you only get the kids for 45 minutes. Right? And 5 minutes of that is, the couple of minutes it takes them to walk in the room, and the couple of minutes at the end where you say bye and they all get up and bow and leave the room. So really you're talking about 40 minutes that you have to account for. An after school program, it could be an hour or 90 minutes. I don't know. So Ben saying he got accepted to a Japanese language school. Awesome, Ben. In where you're living now, or you're going to come to Japan and study here? Let me know. That's awesome. Phil is also in Austria. All right, so we've got Central Europe well represented in the comments. Very good. Guten Tag. No, Guten Tag is German, which I think they speak German in Austria, but maybe not for a good reason. See, I should know these things. So ready for sumo. We're going to talk sumo, and I will admit that I have not put the videos up on my channel. They're all there. I put them from my iPad onto the YouTubes, but they've got to percolate and find the thumbnail, and I'm not a partner on my sumo channel. I've never applied to be partner because I never wanted to take credit for those videos, because I don't create that content. And so one of the downsides of not being a partner, like I am on my Myargonauts channel, is you can't pick the thumbnail. I can't create a thumbnail, and well, you can pick it, but it's they give you 3 choices. So and if you post something and it's still sort of processing, and you pick a thumbnail, it can move. Like it literally will, the thumbnail will change. And the thing I hate about that sometimes is it'll give away who won the match. You know, I try to be very good about that and not pick a thumbnail where it's like you see the guy, you know, doing the maneuver where he's getting the money, or, you know, it's clear like he's pushing and the other guy's like stepping out or whatever. And so yeah, I try to let them percolate for, you know, 30 minutes or an hour before I edit and add in the tags and then throw them all up public. But so anyway, I'll get to that while I'm listening to Hiko. It's starting at 11 p.m. I'll start doing that. I've got 7 videos, I think, from day 1 today. And I will talk about them, but I will say spoilers, you know, like be warned that you're going to find out who wins some things if you listen to this part of the live here today. All right. You'll have to apply for the JLPT. Huggers. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I knew the deadline was coming up. So it's the end of September, Huggers, that I have to apply by. Yeah, I don't know. Luckily, it's not just once a year anymore. If I decide not to do it in December, I can do it again, I think, in June. So I don't have to wait quite as long. I don't know. I want to do it. I actually, there was one job online that I thought about applying, and they required JLPT 2 or better. You had to, you know, send them a scan of your certificate to get the job. So they wanted you to actively be able to speak passable Japanese, even though you're going to be teaching English, which is unusual. Usually they asked that you be able to converse in Japanese, et cetera, but, you know, they don't require it. So anyway, Bunzi, hello, Bunzi. I don't know, Bunzi, you could be from anywhere, but I just assume that you're from like Liverpool or Manchester or somewhere like that. You know, Bunzi. Let's go down to the pub, Bunzi. I'll buy you a pint. Duncan, thanks, Jason. No worries, man. Rob, we limit our classes to 5 kids only. After 5, it becomes chaos. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good. Every now and then, in this other Eikaiwa, they would have, you know, 5 or 6 was, I think, about their limit, but they had a very easy open door thing. Like if you missed Wednesday, you know, you could make it up on Saturday, or, you know, sometimes a kid would be coming just to watch a class for the very first time, and that ended up with like 7. But that was unusual. Yeah, usually the classes maxed out at 4 or 5. And it's true, when they're really young, I think that is a better thing. And then it's really easy. I remember when I was first getting some of my iPad games before I had my iPad, and I was kind of clued into, wow, there's some really cool educational like apps for like $1, and I would just pass my iPhone around. And that was back when I had like an iPhone 4, so the screen was even a slightly bit smaller. And now the iPad can kind of sit in the middle of the table, and most of the kids can see it, and you know, they can just reach out and touch it. I don't have to necessarily like kind of pass it around the table, but even then, it's not that big a deal. Circular table is always good if you're going to teach Eikaiwa. Ben's going to Japan, Tokyo. Well, cool, Ben. Man, I'm jealous in a way. I mean, there's so many people you're going to get to meet, and they just had the big YouTube meetup. I'm sure if you're a follower of Victor or Hiko or so many of the other vloggers, they posted. I mean, they had like 200 people there, and I mean, seeing some of the pictures, it's like a who's who. Virtually of the J-vlogging community that we've established here in Japan. Well, an interesting side note to that, though, was Victor recently posted a photo of the 100,000 subscribers club. You know, it's YouTube vloggers that live in Japan that have 100,000 subscribers or more. And he just passed that mark recently because, you know, he has like 7 channels. I think if he had like 2 channels, he would have had more people subscribe to like one of them or something. But anyway, he finally passed that mark. So he was in this picture, and it was I thought it would be kind of half and half, like foreigners and Japanese, but it was almost all Japanese people, with the exception of Rachel and June, Charla, Victor, and Eric Surf 6. I think were in the photo. I think there's some other. I think Michaela has more than 100,000. But yeah, so a fair amount of Japanese people have also passed that mark. And there was about 19 people or so in the photo, but I don't know if they're each representing a channel or they're parts of groups or whatever. But, you know, congratulations to him for doing that. You know, I have what, 13,000, and I just have never gotten, what would you call it, like a shout out on like a major channel to just inflate my numbers, you know, like to an unreasonable level, or had a real viral video. I had a viral video actually like the very first year I was on YouTube, that got thousands of views, and it's almost at 1 million views. It's at like 800,000 views, and it's just a very short video of the Jaws ride at Universal Studios. But that was so long ago. It might have brought a few subscribers early on, but I think a lot of people just clicked on it because of the thumbnail. You know, it's the shark, you know, with his mouth open and everything. And it's, you know, now fallen out of the algorithm and doesn't get near as many views as it once did. But yeah, I mean, I've been on YouTube for what, 5, 6, I mean, 8 years, kind of doing vloggy stuff. And you know, I'd have to look. I know I made a video when I passed 10,000, so I'd have to see how long ago that was. It feels like I got from 5 to 10,000 much quicker than I got from 10,000 to 13,000, which is about where I am now. But to be honest, and Victor would tell you this, and Hiko would tell you this too, I am proud of it, Rob, actually. Yeah, I mean, thanks. You know, it is a lot. I mean, it blows my mind that, you know, 100 of you are going to watch this, or, you know, like 1,000 people, you know, watch something else I do, and, you know, but it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. I mean, YouTube has finally gone through and is cleaning out some of the dead weight. Like, you know, somebody that logged on for like a month and had a YouTube account never has come on again, you know, clicked on my video one time and subscribed, you know, God bless them. And then, you know, has never watched another video or something, and has never come back to YouTube or whatever. So they're getting rid of some of those kind of, you know, fake accounts, or, you know, unused accounts, or whatever you want to call them, abandoned accounts. Oh, don't tell me about Canada Jin has over 200,000. That just makes me sad. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about her. I'll be nice. I'll take the high road. So yeah, you know, it doesn't matter if I had 13,000 or 33,000. It wouldn't matter if only 1,000 people are watching each video. That's what I'm trying to say, is that it doesn't really matter if I have 10,000 or 13,000, because only about 1,000 people actively watch my videos nowadays. And I'll admit, I don't make videos so much anymore. So, you know, I don't blame people at all. I mean, I do this, and some people watch it, probably listen to it like a podcast, because, you know, it's always about 45 or 50 minutes long, and that's really long. I mean, I put up a few short videos, like the Hiroshima one that I just put up. So it just depends if those show up in your subscriber feed or whatever, and you're inclined to click. But you know, I don't make a lot of videos about teaching anymore or anything. I think I've kind of said what I needed to say about that, and those videos are just there for the people that want them and discover them, and then come to me and ask me questions about them, and I'm happy to help on my Facebook page, and, you know, get in touch with me and stuff. But yeah, so I guess subscribers don't matter in the sense that, you know, and I mean, I'm not making any money on YouTube anymore. There was a time where I made about $100 a month. You know, I couldn't complain. $1,000 a year or so. You know, help pay for some Blu-rays or plane ticket or whatever it did, you know, if you want to add it all up. But you know, that's long since gone too. So, you know, I just do it for fun, just to connect with you guys. You know, the sumo stuff is going strong, and I really enjoy that. And I'm actually going to put up a video on my Taisha Jason channel later this week. I've got an idea for one, and I'm going to film it hopefully tomorrow. And I never use that, but that account was always kind of for movie-related stuff, and this is going to be something about the new Star Wars movie. So if you're not subscribed to that or something, I'll still put a link to it on my Facebook page. So if you're there, or my Twitter, you'll still see a link to it. But yeah, I should start doing pranks. Yeah. Well, actually, if you look at all the top YouTubers are, something that's so like out of my wheelhouse, brain space, or whatever. It's these people like PewDiePie and Markiplier or Markiplier or whatever his name is. These guys who play video games and comment. You have a small screen and a bigger screen, and they make comments while they're playing a video game, and people watch them. I no interest in that at all. Watching it or producing it or being a part of it or anything. I understand the appeal for other people, but the fact that like the top 5 YouTube accounts, like 4 of them are game related channels like that. I mean, if you had told me that 5 years ago, I mean, that just blows my mind. I think they just posted something, and PewDiePie, who seems like a nice enough guy, he's like 24 years old, and he's making these videos, which I'm sure take him a certain amount of time, but they're not really that hard to make. Let's face it. He's a talented, funny guy. I'm not saying that he doesn't put effort into his videos and stuff, but I mean, he's not outside. There's no production value in the sense that he's going outside. He's editing things together, blah, 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 blah. At least the ones I've seen aren't like that. And he made like $7 million in 2014 off of YouTube. And I mean, that's life-changing money. I mean, that's not, 70,000, which would be like a good salary for any normal person in the world for a year. It's not even 700,000, which would allow you to like, buy a house or, just $7 million, and that's just 1 year. I think the previous year he made like 5. I mean, that is insane. And some of these other guys like the Fine Brothers, and I like their channel a lot. I mean, they put a lot of work into it and stuff. I mean, these guys are making serious money and have started companies, and it's crazy the evolution of YouTube. And I don't think we really have anybody like that in Japan necessarily. We have a few channels that are pretty crazy popular. I don't know if people are making millions. But anyway, all right. I'm a gamer, PewDiePie sucks. Yeah, I mean, and I mean, a lot of people now, it's funny, you talk to people that are into YouTube, and it's like one guy had a good quote the other day in YouTubers React on the Fine Brothers channel, and he said, YouTube is Nickelodeon where you can say fuck. He's like, that's the demographic now. I guess there are young kids, and see, I don't have kids, and I'm disconnected. I mean, I have a niece, but she's like 24 now. I'm really disconnected from American kids and what they're into, but if you have an iPad and Wi-Fi, I mean, maybe you can't watch, Gotham on Fox on your iPad because that doesn't work, but you can just sit there and, watch half an hour long YouTube videos, over and over and over, the next one after the next one or something. And I guess like the demographic, like 7 years old to like 15, like YouTube is their main thing. Like that's what they watch. And it's just really interesting how things are changing. I just got Netflix. That's, I guess, something new that's happened to me maybe since I saw you last. Netflix Japan started on September 1st. I got it on September 2nd. So I'm in my free trial month. And I was totally not ready for how it was going to be. I still thought it was going to be like everything on DVD, but you stream it. If you wanted to watch Star Wars, you type in Star Wars. If you wanted to watch, Mary Poppins, if you wanted to watch Citizen Kane, they would have everything that's ever been on DVD, and it's just streaming. But that's not how it is. And I'm sure all of you in a different country know this, but I haven't used Netflix since 2010. So back then it was, the DVDs come to your house, and they had, a lot. I mean, if it had been out on DVD, they pretty much had it, and you could get in line for it. And they're not going to have that kind of delivery thing model here in Japan at all. I don't know if that still exists in America or Canada or wherever, but where you can get Blu-rays or DVDs sent to your house still, that model, but it's just all streaming. And of course, a lot of the content's Japanese, which would be fine for me, if it had subtitles, American. God, I'm Sarah Palin. Speak American. If it had English subtitles, but it doesn't, and I can understand that because foreign white guy who speaks English and doesn't speak fluent Japanese enough to watch a Japanese show in Japanese, is such a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage of Netflix Japan's market that they don't need to cater to me. We're vocal about what we like and what we don't like, at least online and stuff like that. But they need to get Japanese people to subscribe, and so they need to appeal to them. And they do have a lot of the Netflix original stuff. They have Daredevil and Better Call Saul, and I'm trying to remember some of the other shows. Orange is the New Black and stuff like that. So I'm very excited, and there's a new Marvel show coming in November, I think, in America called Jessica Jones, and she's tangentially, related to Daredevil and Iron Fist and things like in that kind of corner of the Marvel universe. So I'll be interested to see if they get that new show kind of day and date with America, if it debuts in Japan as well. That would make me keep subscribing. It's $10 a month or 950 yen, which nowadays is what, like $8 a month because of the exchange rate. So, I've kind of gone through like the TV shows I wanted to watch, and because I've had, so much free time, I really blitzed through it and was just, binge watching stuff. And I mean, they have like 1,000 movies. I found out from a list. Somebody sent me a link to a list of everything that's on there right now, and there's about 1,000 movies. But I mean, it's all, there's nothing really recent. There's a very little Marvel or Disney. Obviously a lot of Japanese movies. So I mean, you get down to what the Hollywood movies, and it's like, okay, they have the Mission Impossible movies if you want to rewatch those because you just saw Rogue Nation or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to justify spending $10 a month on it, but we'll see. I certainly will in the short term, but we'll see in the long term. I mean, I'd be excited next year, the new season of Daredevil, the new season of Orange is the New Black, the new season of House of Cards. All these things are things I would watch. So, do you keep subscribing until then or what? I'm sure Mick Foley's talking about giving the money to charity if you made $7 million. I think he does. I think, if he doesn't want to, hey, I have no problem with him making that kind of money, and it's none of my business. I mean, the fact that got published or whatever, that's nobody's business. And that's why he made a video about it, which I just happened, somebody linked me to it, where he actually talked about, how much money, and the fact that everybody's talking about it and how much hate he was getting. Like, you suck, you don't deserve $7 million, blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's, again, it's none of my business how much money he makes on YouTube. But, and that's probably not even a real number. It's probably speculative based on, this many ads and this many views and blah, blah, blah. But I'm sure it's probably fairly close. But I think he does. I think he's had like drives for charity, and he's like gone, okay, whatever everybody donates, I'll match it or something. And they did $100,000 for some charity a little while ago. And I think some of these guys that have some of these big channels do a fair amount for charity. And I mean, they as they should. I mean, hopefully they won't forget that, 4 or 5 years ago they were, I mean, he said he was like, I think he was like failing out of college and, working at a job that he enjoyed but was paying like almost nothing, and he just started doing this thing and it took off, and now he can afford everything he'd ever want. I think he lives in Italy now and has a nice house in Italy. So anyway, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Lucas, people are in here. Any good stuff on Netflix? Yeah, I mean, there has been some good stuff. The one thing I've discovered as far as the original shows, well, I hadn't seen Better Call Saul, which is a spinoff of Breaking Bad, which was really good. So if you haven't seen that, it's only 10 episodes. And the other thing I really have enjoyed is Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which is written and produced by Tina Fey. And it's got kind of that 30 Rock vibe. and it's one of the lead actresses from The Office. She played the receptionist after Pam, got pregnant and became a salesperson. I forget her real name, unfortunately. And she was in a bunker and held by this like crazy preacher, and for 15 years, from like when she was like 14 to 29 or something, and she gets out, and she's freed, and she goes to live in New York, and just the wacky adventures, and it's very wacky. But there's a lot of really good guest stars in it, from SNL and all kinds of other places, and it's just I just find it really funny. I tried to start watching Derek with Ricky Gervais because I really like The Office and some of his other things, and I just couldn't get into it. But I only gave it 2 episodes. I should probably give it a few more. But yeah, it just didn't strike a thing with me. What else is on there? I watched a bunch of good documentaries that are on there. I watched a really fun one. No, that was on iTunes. I was going to say it was about the making of Star Wars action figures, but that was on 99-cent documentary rental on iTunes. Oh, I watched one about Nina Simone, a great blues singer from the 60s. And yeah, so Netflix, I don't know. I don't really need it for movies. I mean, you can't really see, but I mean, I own like 200 Blu-rays over my shoulder, and I mean, if I need an old movie, I've still got a Hitchcock box set that I haven't worked my way all the way through, and like I haven't rewatched like, I think I bought The Matrix, the 3 movies in a box with an extra. I've never rewatched second and third one, because they're the second and third Matrix movie, but I could, you know what I mean, like, so. But anyway, we'll see. Certainly, right now, I would say it has the advantage over Hulu Japan, which Hulu Japan wasn't connected to NBC and ABC and whatever. Like Netflix does have some good TV on it. Hulu Japan also didn't really have much in the way of original programming, and Netflix really has created a niche for themselves. I mean, the Daredevil show was amazingly good in my opinion. So yeah. Yeah, that Markiplier guy, I know because I'm a really big fan of the YouTubers React, Kids React, all that stuff on the Fine Brothers, and he's always been on there, and seemed like a good guy. I never knew he had a huge channel. I mean, he has like 9 million subscribers now, and until they did that one where they talked about him and how kind of humble he is about the whole thing, and he seems like a really good guy and really has his heart in the right place. And he does do these big charity things. He's going to dye his hair pink, I think, this month because they raised over $100,000 for some charity, and he said he would. And so yeah, I mean, good on them. People that have found their way. And I mean, then we have that example this week, which is kind of all over social media. And I'm a fat guy. There's I can't deny that. And it was all this lady Nicole something, and about her, fat people suck or whatever it was called. I don't know if it was called fat shaming or, I don't know what it was called. I watched it. I wasn't really that offended. But it's always easier to make fun of someone from the other side of the fence if you've never been that person. If she was once 300 pounds and had lost all this weight and was trying to like say, look, I've been there, I know what it's like, don't use fat shaming as a crutch or whatever, blah, blah, blah. She could have gone about that in so many ways. And she's just a comedian trying to make people laugh and stuff. And it's obviously meant to be controversial and somewhat offensive. I heard something Victor posted, some guy that has a Monday morning podcast, Ben something, I can't remember now. And he had way worse things to say about fat people and his experience on a plane. And believe me, one of my most mortifying things is when I have to fly now. I hate it because I know that the person sitting next to me, if there's not going to be an empty seat, is going to be uncomfortable. Because yes, I need 2 seats now. I'm that big, but I usually buy one, of course. And, I hope that the seat next to me is going to be empty. And if it's not, then I'm going to stick out into your area a little bit, And I do my best to minimize, that from like, touching you, or, I obviously try to bathe and be clean and not smell, and, all these things. And, but yeah, I mean, I hate that as much as the person hates sitting next to me, believe me. I hate it too. But, you do that, what, once a year? I mean, I fly to America once a year, so you just have to suck it. Well, I mean, twice if you consider fly there, fly back. But yeah, I mean, it's part of my reason that I hate flying. But what can you do? I mean, fat people are now like one of the last groups you can kind of make fun of, and nobody says anything. You can't make fun of black people, you can't make fun of retarded people, you can't make fun of gay people, you can't make fun of immigrants for the most part. You can make fun of fat people. I mean, what are we going to stand up and say? Hey, you're talking about me, So, yeah, but I heard that she got fired from some job. I mean, I don't know how true all this is, that, that some guy was going to hire her. She's also like a dancer or a choreographer or something. And his whole movie that she was going to choreograph was about like women asserting their positive body image or whatever. And he like saw that and was like, no, sorry. You're not going to get to do this Hollywood movie anymore. So anyway, all right. Soul Eater he's English teaching in Kagawa. Well, Kampai. Oh, so Rob is sticking up for Derek. Okay, I think I'll give it a little bit more of a chance. I do like Ricky Gervais. Well, and sometimes I'm lucky if it's if it's a 3-seat on the plane, the person in the middle, because I'm almost always on the aisle, so I can, flab out into the aisle. No, usually it just means my elbow gets hit by the cart every time they take it up and down the aisle. It is, if there's 2 people, hopefully the smaller of the 2 people sits in the middle. So, but like he was saying, this situation was like a really big guy like me and his girlfriend, who I'm assuming was normal size, and the big fat guy sat in the middle. Well, no, I mean, he should have smushed himself up against the window. And, just, sucked it up. And it wasn't even that long a flight. I mean, we're not talking international flight. I think we're talking like a 3 or 4 hour flight. So the guy was obviously overreacting. But, again, it's fertile ground for comedy, and what can you do? You lost 10 keys. Oh, that's good, Rob. Well, if I get this new job that I hope I get, I've been told that I can't drive, and there's a hill in front of campus that there's no parking lot at the top of the hill. So nobody drives, and I guess nobody bikes because it's it's not a bikeable hill or something maybe. So everybody, all the students, all the faculty, everybody walks up and down this hill every day. It's just part of like life at this school. And so there you go. Maybe I'll have to start walking and being more fit just to survive my new job. So, but anyway. I might be a bit too British even for you, Jason. Rob Japan. I don't know, Rob. You'd have to meet my parents. I mean, they obviously became more American over time, and it would be funny when relatives from England would visit us in Texas or in California, and I'd be like, oh, that's right. My parents are from England. This is what they used to sound like, because their accents, to me, became different over time and stuff. And yet when people would meet them, they'd be like, oh my God, your dad's from England? Like, I'd be like, yeah, I guess. It doesn't really even, I don't even hear it anymore. But I would go to England to visit relatives and stuff, and some of my relatives pretty darn British. So so we'll see, Rob, if we ever meet up, we'll see if you pass the 2 British test. Dude Jericho, hey man, you're currently in Tokyo. Cool. I've been hearing all kinds of stuff from people like Gregorio and Hiko that they've been having earthquakes and obviously some torrential rain just north of Tokyo recently. So I hope you're good, and I hope if you're there to sightsee that it's not totally, killed your plans to get out and about. The rain, I mean, we had a really bad day of rain, which coincided with the really one that you've probably heard about on the news, with all the flooding. Yeah, it certainly wasn't that bad out here. It was just like, wow, it's really raining. Oh my God, it's still really, wow, it hasn't stopped raining. You know, it was one of those days. And so, you know, I think part of the flooding, the major story there was like the river rose so high in this one town that it busted the banks or whatever, or overflowed its banks, and then the town got flooded. But yeah, it's been that kind of summer here. It's just been wacky. Yeah, Cordy, we were talking about that lady. If you have a comment you'd like to make, feel free. Actually, I've just been starting to chart my dinners, Rob, trying to think to myself. You know, it's funny because I think, you know, sometimes I think, well, I could be vegetarian. I mean, I love meat. Don't get me wrong. I love a good burger. You know, when I was in Nagoya and had that steak at Outback Steakhouse, I mean, it was just mouthgasms. But I don't eat a lot of that stuff here because it's just not easily available. I mean, I eat burgers at like McDonald's and stuff. You can't almost count that. But the one thing I really don't think I could give up, and if you're a vegetarian, I guess maybe you don't have to, is cheese. Because I saw this one video by this lady who's a vegan, and she was talking about all the ways it helps the earth and blah, blah, blah. And all that appeals to me, and, you know, cruelty to animals. I hate the idea of some of that stuff. But again, you know, yeah, I don't want to get into that because it's already 10:43, and that could be a whole topic. But the idea appeals to me, and, you know, eating plants and being healthier and stuff. But I love milk. I love eating cereal. It's been my breakfast for like 20 years, every day, bowl of cereal. And with milk, of course. I love ice cream. I love cheese. I just love dairy things. And that would be the hardest thing to give up. That would be way harder to give up than meat. I'm assuming you can still eat bread when you're a vegetarian. Yeah, I don't know why not. Anyway. So, yeah. Riding a bicycle. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Let's get in. Rob's a vegetarian. Yay! So, Rob, you're a vegetarian. What keeps you from being a full vegan? What do you want to eat that you can't if you were a vegan? Aggressive rain. Tacos. Yes, I have been eating tacos recently. I've been able to get all the ingredients and some decent cheese and meat and the packet of seasoning and the salsa, and it's getting easier and easier to get, even in my local town, most of the stuff I need to make good tacos. Switch to soy milk. I've never tried that. Patrick, I don't want to eat you. Thank you. You might be tasty though, Patrick. I would nibble and try a bit. Green raw vegetables. What would be a green raw? I'm trying to think about what would be a green raw vegetable I would eat. I would eat raw carrots. They're not green though. They shouldn't be. I'm trying to think. Name me a green raw vegetable that I'm supposed to eat. I don't like celery. Broccoli I like, but it has to be cooked. I'm really a fussy eater, guys. We don't want to go down this road. Anyway. Eggs, cheese, milk, and cooking have to read labels. That's right. They're anti-bacon. Well, see, that's the thing, Sean, bro. It's like I don't get bacon here. You know, I never. You know, I go home to America and I'm like, wow, you can have bacon on this and bacon for breakfast and bacon on your burger and, you know, the blah blah blah. There's a burger place that I was going to last summer when I was doing this trivia night on Tuesday nights with my buddy Scott, and it was like the whole point of the restaurant is that their ground beef is like half ground beef, half ground bacon into their patties, and that's how they make their hamburgers. Oh man, I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. Maybe you guys have heard of it, especially if you live in California. But anyway, yeah. So it was like, and after eating there, like, like 4 weeks in a row, I was almost like, whoa, I need to, need to try something else. Kale? I would not eat raw kale. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm 46. I can't. Green peppers? Raw? Well, lettuce, yeah, okay. I eat lettuce raw. Yeah, yeah. Broccoli and like cheese dip. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so it's 10:47. I got to get out of here in about 10 minutes. Make way for Hiko, the man, Simon. He is Superman, and I am Kiseno Sato. There he is right there. Kiseno Sato, the Ozeki, is on my Sumo calendar for September and October. Sumo, let's talk a little bit about Sumo. So yada, 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 spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. If you don't want to know what happened in today's Sumo, mute the audio. When I hold up this remote again in about 3 minutes, that means you can unmute, and I've stopped talking about Sumo. But yeah, go away now if you don't want to know. But I will post the videos right after I get off here. All I can say, guys, is fucking fantastic start to a basho. I was going along and I was watching, and there isn't much in the first half. I mean, a lot of the guys that sort of were down in the first half of the Makuuchi division have been promoted up. Osuna Arashi and my man Okinoumi is now Komusubi, and Tochinoshin's up there, and even Endo's at number 7, so he's like right around the first half break. The only guy I really like that's down in the bottom half is Ikiyoi. But of course, I watch every match, every day because I'm a fan. But I didn't really take much. And then, you got to the Sekewake, and they both won. And then the Ozeki, all 4 Ozeki won today, which is very rare, especially on the first day. But they all looked good. Terano Fuji, an easy match for him. And then we Harama Fuji is pulled out. In case you don't know that, you'll find out in my videos today and stuff. But yeah, my man, my favorite wrestler, Harama Fuji, the Yokozuna, has a bad elbow, and he's going to rest for one more tournament before coming back in November. Mick, I'm going to post the Sumo right after this, so you'll start to see videos from 11 p.m. Japan time to midnight, and I should have them all up by midnight. I'll listen to Hiko while I type and put in stuff. And I'm doing a new contest too. So there was a contest that I did in the welcome video where you have to pick 3 wrestlers, and most people are really enjoying that. I've had about 200 people enter that contest, and I'm going to do a day 1 contest too that involves sharing the information about my channel on social media. So that's an easy one for a lot of people to do. So watch the Hakuho Okinoumi match for details about that, the final match of the day, the Musubi no Ichiban. So anyway, so we don't have Harama Fuji, which is a shame because he's, I really enjoy watching him. And so we only have 2 Yokozuna. Kakeru came up and won his match, no problem. And then it was Okinoumi, who, as many of you know, I used to live in Shimane-ken, and he's from Oki Islands in Shimane-ken, so I root for him. And he's never really, done that well when he's been higher ranked. He's been at Sekewake or Komusubi. He's always ended up with a losing record. And of course, day 1 as a Komusubi, he gets Hakuho. So he's never beaten Hakuho in like 13 meetings, and he goes up against him today, and they clash at the Tachiai, and he's still in it. It's not over in 3 seconds, and it was a great fucking match. Excuse my French. And he won. Osunarashi, sorry. Okinoumi won, and when you watch the video, you'll hear my reaction. I go batshit crazy, and if you could have seen the smile on my face, and I was like, rah, I was like in my little apartment here, just, creating high hell. And, just fantastic start for me. Not that I don't like Hakuho. I do, but, like a lot of people say, he's so good, and he wins so often, and it's so sort of predictable now that when something goes not to plan with him, it makes it more interesting. And so right from the start now, he's one down, and so it gives other wrestlers hope, that they have a chance too. You know, maybe Seno Sato's like, wow, this could be it. I could finally win a U show, you know? So anyway, Teruno Fuji, of course, has got to be loving it too. I think he's probably most people's favorite to win if it's not Hakuho. But anyway, so Okunomi, I mean, he doesn't get a Kimboshi, but he got a stack of Zensho envelopes, you know, from the supporters, the sponsors, like 50 of them, like $30,000, and you know, just for winning this one match as a bonus. And yeah, I don't remember the Zabuton flying, Rob, to be honest. But that's probably because I was just freaking out watching the video. They must have been throwing the cushions. I just probably don't remember. But anyway, so great start. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow. I have so much free time that there really shouldn't be a day that I miss, other than Thursdays. The 2 Thursdays, I have tutoring both of those days. So those are the days where I'll tape the thing at nighttime and do it in the morning when I wake up. So you'll get to see everybody, you know, in those 2 10-minute videos type of thing. But other than that, I should have match by match. All right, I'm gonna get out of the way here. It's 10:53. Thanks to you guys. I don't know, I blabbed for 45 minutes and made a show out of it, and I didn't really have an agenda tonight, so I appreciate you guys coming along and helping me out, leaving comments. About 30 of you in the house right now. So I'll give you 2 minutes. No, 1 minute. 1 minute if you want to ask a question or anything before I leave. I know there's a slight lag. Oh, and I told you at the beginning of the program that we were sponsored by Black Thunder, and I told you I would show you what it looks like. So it kind of looks like a duty. And then if you bite into it, the inside, it's kind of like cookie-ish. It's almost like a Twix, but they're pretty tasty. These are the little bite-sized ones. You buy like 10 to a pack, like to give out at Halloween or something. The normal ones are kind of more the size of like a brownie. But anyway, if you're ever in a conveni and you just want a safe, tasty little chocolate sugar thing to go into your body, Black Thunder. Ask them for the Black Thunder. It does sound like Porn Star. And it's written in katakana, which kind of makes it have this mysterious foreign origin to it, but not really. I think it's all from Japan. All right, so thank you guys for coming by. And if I think of anything else, do I need to tell you right before we leave? No. But I do think I'll have a video on Taisha Jason about Star Wars stuff. So if you're into Force Friday and, you know, all getting into the new Star Wars movie, go over to Taisha Jason later this week, or, you know, just check on the Facebook page for the link. And of course, Sumo all this week on my Sumo channel every day. And I should be back next Sunday with a new one of these. We'll see what we're talking about then. And 2 contests if you're into Sumo that you can enter. You still have time to enter the first week welcome one. You have about another 18 hours or something before I'm going to cut it off. And the new one, you know, you can enter anytime this week. And yeah, Aloha. Don't watch that movie. There's a movie called Aloha, and I rented it on iTunes, and I paid $5 because I really like Cameron Crowe as a director. He made Say Anything and Jerry Maguire and Almost Famous. I have a lot of respect for the guy. I liked the actors involved. And man, was it a bad movie. Don't watch it. Don't waste your money. If it's free and you're on the couch and you can't really move because you've been smoking too much, or you're just really tired and you literally can't grab the remote and change the channel, it wouldn't kill you. But other than that, avoid it. Bad. But what else did I see this week that was pretty good? I'm watching just a lot of TV. I'm watching Elementary right now, 2nd season. And what else am I? Oh, I've just been watching The Americans. I'm really getting into that show. Watched the first 2 seasons. Going to wait now on the 3rd. And yeah, I guess Netflix stuff that I've been watching. So Unbreakable. Unbreakable. You should watch that. If you have Netflix, check out that show. It's really funny. If the first episode, which is, you know, they're setting everything up, doesn't really grab you, give it 2 or 3 more. And, you know, it's either your sense of humor or it's not. But anyway. All right, guys. Peace. See you next time. Thanks for coming by. We'll see ya.